Hi everybody, this is Dr. Miller with another short supplemental video for you. This video covers some of the highlights of search engine optimization and social networking that we're going to be talking about in this unit. I just wanted to give a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of an overview. I went to the West Georgia homepage since there isn't just one single page that will be relevant. I had to update this because there was a lot of emphasis on Tumblr and a lot of emphasis on Facebook, and not as much emphasis on working with Google and optimizing search engine stuff and that kind of thing. So I had to adapt the quizzes to do this and some of the learning materials, which is why it took another day for me to get it posted. However, out in the world, you may have to do some things on sites like Facebook. For example, event planning. Most businesses have a Facebook page. Let's say you work for a catering company and they are having an event at a wedding venue. You would want to plan that and give it a Facebook page because a lot of the people who do things like plan weddings or their kids are having a wedding or whatever it is, a lot of them are on Facebook. So that's a useful site to be able to know and navigate and work with. There's also, there are several secret and closed groups on Facebook as well. Some of those can be useful. Those of you, if you know people who have kids or who are thinking about that, there are a lot of parenting groups. There are groups for first generation students. There are all kinds of options. So Facebook remains useful for some of those things, certainly. Silly memes are useful everywhere. The entire internet is a good place for those. So yeah, that's, kind of a loose overview of the value of that site to work. There's also some issues about cybersecurity that are relevant to all work, but also work in tech and editing. There's, cyberbullying. You might not have anything to do with this yourself. However, being able to protect someone who might go on your page and being able to look out for it and recognize it is useful. Also sometimes you meet someone online who might be an editor, who might be worth working with. But if you don't have any sort of supplemental information about them, you might find that, that there's something wrong there. So getting references is important as well. Search engine optimization is something that is really fascinating, and yet it's kind of invisible to a lot of people, but it's really important. And it includes being able to write internet content and edit internet content such that keywords pop up in Google searches and other search engine searches. It's really important to use words and fields and tags that are going to hit and pop up. I don't know if you've ever been on Twitter and mistyped a hashtag, but you missed the boat if you mistype a hashtag. It's the same kind of thing with including the right words in what you write such that Google will find you. And people don't necessarily think of this as an English department specific skill, but it absolutely is. Having the vocabulary, having the mental flexibility, all that stuff you really need to be able to do. There is a little bit about Instagram because I think a lot more people, are still on Instagram than in some of these other social media platforms. Twitter is, of course, really helpful. Because, it's a great work tool. It is a fantastic way to get to know different academics at other stages of their careers. I've given assignments for students to set up their own professional Twitter profile. Let's say you're a film studies person. There's a ton of people you can follow. And there are ways to be pretty professional on there. And it's a good way to establish your own internet presence in a way that looks good to future employers, especially if you have an unusual name. As someone named Laura Miller, I do not identify with this. However, if you have a more unusual name and you have a really nice Twitter profile that has a lot of followers, when you're interviewing for a job and they Google you, that's going to pop up and they'll be happy to see that you're both engaged in your profession and you know how to write and communicate and tweet effectively. So yeah, let's see what else is on my list of things here. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit about Reddit that was in there previously. I kept a couple of the things about it. Reddit is useful as a way to kind of, well, first of all, to gather information about a particular topic. It's a great way to get advice on something in particular. And it's a great way to find a community. So, for example, if you are looking to sell a particular item, you find the subreddit for that community, you read that subreddit, you learn what they want, and, you can kind of go in there and post once in a while, not trying to sell right away. But, once they get to know you, there'll be some trust and you can help build business in kind of a grassroots kind of way. So yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Reddit can also be kind of a weird place to go, so be careful. Again, every single social media platform, cyberbullying is possible, even Instagram. Something else that is relevant to search engine optimization is that off-page SEO. So off-page SEO is when you do things that are on other websites that draw people to your content. Let's say you have a web page about your art, for example, and you write about it. If you did a guest blog post at an art blog and it links to your web page, then you're going to be able to track the hits from that page to your site, and that increases your ability to be found in searches because that means you're on multiple websites and being spoken about on multiple websites. When my book was reviewed in 8 or 9 different periodicals, that helped optimize search engines for it overall. Even if there was a negative review, the positive reviews were the majority, but also even if it's a negative review, that's still a hit. That's still a web page that has you in there. And so you're more likely to rise to the top of a Google search. So yeah, off-page SEO means linking to other websites and including them. So yay to that. You also see it with people who have those Amazon sponsored links. BuzzFeed does this all the time. But it's effective. It makes them a bunch of money. Metadata, and I'm going to type this for you. Metadata. Metadata are basically data about data. And so you might think of them as fields, categories. If you were to categorize or catalog items on a web page, there would be different fields that would then keep popping up. Like, let's say you have an early American literature website, and you're especially interested in literature published in the South. You wouldn't just put the South. You would have, early Georgia, early South Carolina, etc. And so, because that would help optimize your searches. So, when people are looking for, early Georgia literature, they're going to find your site. And if you just have the South, they might not find you. So metadata would be, including fields like, place of original publication, Georgia. And so that would further reinforce the relevance of this imaginary web page of yours to someone who is looking for it. One other thing I do want to mention is it's gotten kind of a bad rap in terms of journalism, but in terms of increasing hits to your website, a listicle, which is like those, check out these 10 sundresses that are going to make your year. And it's like a paragraph about each sundress and a picture and a link. So it's a list article. Similarly, 5 series to binge right now on Netflix before they go away. Same kind of thing. That increases so much traffic both to your site and Netflix, that it's a really great way to make your site more visible. There's also some information about LinkedIn on here that I'll want to make sure you watch and learn about. LinkedIn is super useful, especially if you're not in academia. I'm in academia, so I don't have very much on mine yet, but I mean, I've done actual research studies for the company LinkedIn. And they're really concerned about professionalization, developing skills, developing certificate programs. So I would definitely encourage you to set up a LinkedIn account and get to know them. And you can apply for jobs directly from there, which is awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So I will have videos ready for you, and a couple of website links for reading, which you're probably sick of videos, so that's good. And it will be related to Facebook. It'll be related to cybersecurity, Instagram, just short introductions to everything. And hopefully that will be enjoyable for you. Thank you for coming on this journey to me. You've already been welcomed, my wolves. But anyway, I thought it was nice to look at the West Georgia webpage since we'll all be on campus soon enough. Take care.